Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
I can hear you loud and clear, Coach Jay. How are we doing today?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to At the Buzzer, our market recap. This is your first time here. The goal of this session is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we can take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Coach Jay. Been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades, and I'm here to share some of my experience, some knowledge, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
So thank you
And
for that.
boy, that was needed today. I can tell you that.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. A ton of action in the markets today. We do got some earnings out here. Amazon earnings are out. So give me a second here. We're going to pull up Amazon charts. There they go. Amazon earnings are out. Close the day trading around $222.46. And we can see it. Knee-jerk reaction to the downside. Amazon trading about $23 lower than that right now. Trading at $202. Earnings per share came in at $1.95. Estimates were $1.96. Net sales $213.39 billion. Estimates were $211.49 billion. Sees Q1 net sales anywhere from $173 to $178 billion. Estimates were $175. Operating income $25 billion. Estimates were $24.8. Sees 2026 capex at $200 billion. Estimates were $146. So Jack was pointing that out. We saw a Google report yesterday, and that capex number, I think it was the one thing that kind of stuck out with Google, how much money they were spending. And here goes Amazon saying, they're expecting to spend $50 billion more than estimated.
And most likely on what?
AI.
I have a flair for the obvious, right? And if that doesn't work out, well, I don't know the future, but It's very interesting. They're spending a lot of money. They bring a lot of money in too, but
for sure. But a pretty big sell-off there. And let's check the NASDAQ weightings. Amazon is the number 4 weighted company in the NASDAQ 100, 6.79%. So as Amazon goes, and the NASDAQ is a basket of stocks, we may see the NASDAQ go as well. Get number 4 weighted over there. It's pretty heavily weighted in the S&P as well. Let's see if we can get exactly what that is. Number 4 in the S&P as well, 3.66%. So big reaction there in Amazon. Coach Paul dodged the candle this time. just missed. But
I'm buying it. Holding it up.
Yeah. There you go. That's the real one. $203 right now for Amazon. But big day across the board in the markets. So we could just get right into it. Anything else you want to say as far as earnings go, Coach Paul?
Nothing that hasn't already been said.
Awesome stuff. So earnings call for Amazon in about an hour or so. Join that if you are an Amazon investor. Be on their website. We are going to take a look at the futures markets that we trade here every day at Topstep. Take a look at the news first. We did have some numbers out this morning. We had initial jobless claims. Jobless claims came in higher than expected, 231,000. Forecast was 212,000. Continued jobless claims, 1.844 million. Forecast was 1.85. We also did have the JOLTS job openings, so more jobless claims than expected and less job openings than expected. The JOLTS job openings number came in at 6.542 million. Forecast was 7.25 million, just giving us an indication of how the labor market is doing currently. We have the Iran-U.S. meeting. That talk is supposed to still be on the schedule for tomorrow. But
we were late tonight.
Late tonight, correct. Late tonight. So we will see what we get out of that. But anything else you got on the news, Coach Paul, you want to talk
about? Just the JOLTS number being an independent number, I think it gets more credence and less job openings. I think that actually made a difference in today. I think that as we go forward, I think the market is now paying more attention to independent economic data, and we saw that reaction today. So that JOLTS number, I think, is going to remain pretty important into the future. Other than that, the Iran talks, they're on, they're off. There's nothing to stop it being off again. So let's get into the markets.
Let's get into it. 36 different markets we can trade with Topstep accounts. And today, to the downside, we had, let's take a look here. To the downside, crypto is getting smoked.
Well, we saw the headlines from what's his name? He said it's going to zero. Well respected.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone in the audience, I mean, I had it on the headlines. He was part of the guys who got short mortgage-backed securities in 08. Michael Burry, I think it was.
Oh, he said crypto's going to zero. I mean,
he specifically said not crypto,
Bitcoin going to zero. Okay. Well,
kind of looked like it today.
I mean, one of our biggest percentage movers to the downside, micro Bitcoin down 13.25%. Still kind of jumping around here. 13.25% in Bitcoin. After already getting sold off a bunch, right? Let's just look. We'll do a quick look at this Bitcoin chart. Right. It's not like the selling just started in Bitcoin. This is the highest volume day we've seen ever in the futures contract, maybe 249,000 contracts traded today.
Wow.
You see more volume to the downside when these things start to sell off. And is that going to set a low, or how's my Bitcoin? It's not doing great. I'll say that, but I'm a hodler. I don't have a huge position. I was saying, Coach Paul, I bought Bitcoin the other day in the 80s. I bought more today. I'm buying very slowly, very slowly. We're filling up the bucket drip by drip, especially when it's dropping like this. Yeah, I'm not even looking at that. Shout out to Cash App. You can just set recurring buys, and I just very small amount every day. Silver down 13.32%, and micro Ethereum down 13.5% for our biggest percentage movers to the downside. To the upside, shout out to all the farmers, all the ag products to the upside today. Wheat up 1.52%, soybeans up 1.69%, and soybean meal up 2.23% for our biggest percentage movers to the upside. To talk about our big four, we have crude oil down 2.96%, the S&P down 1.31%, gold down 2.38%, and the NASDAQ down 1.56%. To wrap up our big four, go over to the equities charts. Here's the NASDAQ on the daily. What are we seeing here, Coach Paul?
Well, this was the lowest close of the year.
Yep.
And we're at an inflection point. All right. What do I mean? But there is all the things we've been looking at, this range, the 200 moving averages, then it right there, and the tariff tantrum candle bottom. We have a cornucopia of things coming to a head. But this latest break is a little sharper. What I mean, but it took less time. Yeah. And in the background, in this background, it seems you just went through all the things, the top performers.
Yeah.
They're all negative.
Yep.
Except for the grains.
Yeah.
Which was the opposite. So that smells like liquidation. Coming out of last week's debacle in silver and gold, we'll talk about this earlier in the week. It can set off a contagion, like a liquidity contagion, like that kind of movement for funds or even for central banks. it causes volatile ripples. So I get that. It smells like that.
Yeah.
Can this continue? Well, it's the one thing I have to say every morning when I start. I don't know. I observe in the present. Right here, that 200 moving average on the daily is looming large. My feeling is that it's going to touch it soon.
Dindin, you said, can we touch on Amazon earnings? We talked about it. Amazon beat on earnings per share, beat on revenues. Looks like they're going to be spending more money than expected. If you just rewind, first thing we actually covered on the day, Amazon sold off pretty aggressively after that report. But as we know with earnings, and I'll pull up that chart one more time. As we know with earnings, of course, tomorrow is going to tell us a lot about this. Let's take a look at Google. Google reported yesterday. Google reported yesterday, and still kind of in the range. Looked pretty ugly, but there you have it. So we'll see what happens with Amazon tomorrow. Of course, this knee-jerk reaction is to, happening in a low liquidity environment. Let's get back over to the Nasdaq here. Yeah, that 200 moving average, Coach Paul, and that low of that October 10th candle, 24,405. The 200 moving average is at 24,320. We've been talking about the collision course. It looks like it's on the way there. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart here. Go to last night's open. And I'll ask the question one more time. Is this feeling like early 2025 to anybody else yet?
You brought that up, but it's been haunting in my mind for the last few days because it really does feel like it.
Yeah.
We're getting the same structure overnight, breakout when volume comes in. Well, look at this. How many days in 1, 2, 3 days in a row?
Same pattern.
And that was kind of reminds me of that same rhythm in March or February or March of last year. Just how low can it go? I don't know. So the selling stops, and then next morning we refresh. And I'm not putting that out. That's going to happen every day, but that is the rhythm we're in right now.
Yeah, 100%. Today is Wednesday, February 26, 2025. That's what Darnell's saying. Let's go back in time. Use the Wayback Machine.
Wow, you're a wizard.
Yeah, I mean,
oh my God. I thought you didn't move.
it kind of looks the same, doesn't it? Overnight consolidation, sell off. Overnight consolidation, sell off. Overnight consolidation.
I know I saw this movie somewhere.
If it looks like a duck,
That's it.
If it looks like a duck,
you saw it here first. I'm at the buzzer.
We'll see what happens.
Thanks.
But
thanks, Darnell. That was a great insight.
That was February 26th, 2025. February 26th. February 26th, 2025. So we'll see. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen. We just have to read what's in front of us. But the great thing as traders, history may not repeat itself, but it rhymes, right, Coach Paul? And you can look at data in the past, and it's kind of interesting.
By the way, we're making new lows in the Nasdaq
as we speak. As we speak. So what was a little bit different today than yesterday's open, the overnight inventory did give us a little bit more to work with, right? We were actually already down by the time we opened up the New York session. We had almost a 400 point range in the overnight session, right? Pre-market already. So that's a little different. And I think personally, Coach Paul, made the New York session a little harder to trade because what we were talking about yesterday, right? If you're already at a daily ATR move when the New York session comes in, how much room is there left for a move to the downside? And in this case, there was still some, but we had to. It was a look at this first 30-minute candle of the New York session. What are you seeing here, Coach Paul?
That was funky. It took a lot of patience. I did get short, but it never left that first 3 to 5 minutes. It VWAP didn't. So you made a good point there. It took a lot of patience. Now VWAP left the range. This is it, but it recovered above the session VWAP.
Yep.
So I did take a loss, a
Yeah.
good loss. And this is where the patience come. I framed out the candle when we closed at the session VWAP. When that was
Closed below
and
session view up, you said?
above, when it closed above.
Oh, okay, here.
Can it sustain VWAP? So that anchored to me, this was the new open.
Yeah.
And then when we closed outside of that, I got short again there.
Nice.
Like you said, it wasn't easy.
No.
But the structure, like you pointed out, we were already deep in the range.
Yeah.
But that heavy volume still on the opening, on the selling side.
Yep.
Which was at that time anybody? What kind of trade is that?
It is. Even though it's on the opening, right? You could still look
I
at it that
just
way.
noticed that.
Yeah, even if it's on the opening, you can still look at it that way. What Coach Paul is saying is that that's the highest volume of the day at the lows. That's a J trade on the open. You did get some urgency. Where this is if you bought this, that's a great trade.
Yeah.
That's 160 points to the upside, right? If you are not getting married to a bias and saying, "Oh, this market needs to go back up. It's under too much sell pressure. We're going back to 26,000s." You could take 100 points out of the market and be wrong. And Darnell just said it. You said it this morning. It was going to be a harder trade because of the ATR being spent in the overnight session. Put the puzzle pieces together. Right? Put all the puzzle pieces together. And one of the things we said during that opening call was, I would not be surprised at a return to full session VWAP, which we got up here, Coach Paul. You said that's your new open for the day. Then we go from there. So when you put those puzzle pieces together, there is a ton of opportunity and great two-sided trade today. Even in the middle of the day, shout out to the guys during the opening call who realized what was happening down here. We spent a ton of time trying to figure out whether or not we were going to make new lows or not. This was an hour of consolidation at the lows, where if you look at the delta information, shout out to Hogue, who's calling out the delta all the time. Andre's calling it out as well. Delta in the NASDAQ, which is in simple terms, the difference between market order buys and market order sells. Delta in the NASDAQ and the S&P was increasingly positive as we hung out here, which is telling you what, Coach Paul? Oh, telephone. What is Delta telling you? Increasingly positive Delta, Coach Paul, where we're not making lows. You got to take that, Coach Paul. Can you hear me? Check.
There we go.
All right.
My phone rang and I was lost.
Oh, okay. All good. If you need to take it, go ahead.
No, I don't.
All right.
Spam.
Okay. Spam. But the increasingly positive delta at these lows tells us that, there are buyers stepping up here. There are buyers stepping up, and shout out to Andre and Jack who called it, and Hogue. That led to another 300-point move to the upside. So really nice two-sided trade. You could have made money both ways. These are my favorite markets to trade when there's opportunity on both sides. Sometimes I'll only take one side of it, but in any direction, you had at least a 100-point move in the NASDAQ today, depending on where your trade location was. So take advantage of the volatility. We'll take a quick look at the S&P. Very similar story here. In the S&Ps, we shot right back up to that full session VWAP. The S&P on a higher time frame is a little stronger. I think we just got to 50% of October 10th. Not yet. Still a little work to do, but we can see it again here. 6603, 200 moving average right at the low of that October 10th candle. Feels like a little bit of a target. We'll see how aggressive this selling gets. This is only 3%, only 3%, and uh, we'll see how quickly we get a 3% move, if we do at all. Uh, Anything else on the equities you want to talk about, Coach Paul?
You know, they all the equities broke today. Even Rusty.
Yep. Oh yeah,
Rusty was almost leading the way.
it was.
Yeah, it was. But it had more room to move. But where did it go down to? The 50-day moving average. I think we closed right underneath it, but in that area. But looking at the first, it broke out hard. It was with intention. Finished near the lows of the day. Also, it was different. One of the things that I noticed, we're not getting rotation. We're getting selling.
Yep.
We're getting
Everywhere.
selling, liquidation, risk off. And then we had we're not going to talk about it, but then it appeared we had a big move in the bonds,
Yeah.
point move we haven't seen. So it does have the DNA of risk off against the equities,
Yeah.
like across the board.
Yep. Where does everyone go, Coach Paul? Because that's been the question. Do they run to the metals? Because metals were selling off today too.
Wow.
Can you
We'll
run to
go over
Bitcoin
silver
anymore?
later. Well, I think silver could. Well, we'll go over silver later.
Yeah.
Go right back to 30.
Mm.
And I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is.
Right. But it could.
But if liquidation comes, price isn't going to matter.
Yeah.
But no, where do you go? I would say short term, where it always goes, short term treasuries. That hasn't changed. I don't think it goes into the long term, the 30-year, but you got to park it.
Yeah.
So we're seeing you're not doing it in Bitcoin, and I'm not. Hey, by the way, I'm not an anti-Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to zero. I think Bitcoin isn't at the part where you mention it at the family gathering and you don't hear some swearing and I'll never touch that again at evil. We're not at that point yet.
Right.
When you get to that point, load up.
Yeah.
But it's a great question. Right now, I'd look at the 2-year. It could go into T-bills.
Yeah.
But it's not staying in risky assets there you go. There's the 2-year.
That's a 2-year. That's a 30. And I see some requests. Guys, I don't know if it's your first time viewer of At the Buzzer. We'll cover all the markets. We'll probably cover more markets than you want us to cover. So if you got a request for gold or whatever it is, we got you. Don't worry about it. And if you're looking for what we said on the earnings, go back to the beginning of the show. We covered the Amazon earnings that just came out. Favorable, not so favorable response to Amazon. I think the biggest thing I see from that, Jack pointed it out as well with Google, 200 billion estimated capex for next year, when originally that was 146 bill. So spending more money than they initially expected. Can we just keep spending money on top of money? We were wrapping up the equities here, Coach Paul. All of these markets are under the 200 moving average on the 30. The Dow and the Russell tested it today. Like you said,
once again, they all finished near the lows.
Yeah.
There was no rotation.
S&P just made a new low today.
Yeah.
I got 6,800.
You're the one who called it, or I think it was on Monday. I got the feeling.
Yeah.
This is, and we have evidence. Last February, in conclusion, equities, is it down and to the right instead of up and to the right?
That's what it looks like.
We're seeing that.
That is what it looks like. Let's see here. I think whatever the result was going to be a sell-off for Amazon, potentially. Let's take a look now at gold. take a look at gold. I also see some questions about, the email that came out from Topstep, a new payout policy. You can choose your path to payout. There is the standard path, which is $550 days, and that gets you to a payout. Or you have the option to use a consistency target, 40% consistency in that account, and you can take out a payout in as early as 3 days. I would highly suggest reading that email. And I saw somebody say, English is my first language. Copy paste, throw it in Google Translate, right, into whatever language you want. It really does explain everything. I'll be honest, I haven't even fully read through it yet, so I don't want to speak too much to it. I'll read it, but and True Trade says every week Topstep changes the policy, but it didn't change the policy. You still use the standard. You could still use the standard policy, so it's an option. It's an option. All right, let's take a look, Coach Paul, at gold. Last night's open. What are we seeing here?
Last night's open. It's we opened above the 200, and we had some light buying by that standard, right? It was light buying, and you attached the VWAP, and it stood there. I was watching this last night. I was like, well, looks good, but it's not leaving the range. What changed? VWAP, session VWAP, which is the yellow, it's going to be the same as if you attach it. Makes it much more clear what happened inside that range when, lo and behold, Shanghai came in.
Yeah.
7 o'clock Central. They came in selling guns blazing, but there wasn't even. And where did we go to? We left the opening half hour, session VWAP ticking down. And then, I don't know if they watch at the buzzer, but once we closed below that 200, that was the range for the rest of the day.
Rest of the day.
That was a huge, to me, that kind of set the tone for a lot of things. That's liquidation.
For sure. For sure.
Because that was a part, I don't care what the price is. I need to sell. And I'll give a story. When I was a filling broker in the soybeans, we first started in there for
Coach Paul will be back. Was that me? Oh, what is going on here? Gold tanking. We still live, chat? You guys still hear us? Check, check. Can you hear us now? All right. Coach Paul will be back in just a minute here. There he is. Coach Paul, welcome back. You were about to tell us what you did with all the funds. You disappeared, and then everything started selling off, Coach Paul. I don't know. I'm starting to think it's you. What the?
I don't know.
The equities are making new lows right now as we speak.
So price doesn't matter. What I was getting to is price doesn't matter. I got an order from a large fund, I won't mention the fund. And it was in the middle of the day. It was slow. And I'm like piecing it out 50 at a time. And it was 1,000 lot.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's my fill? I said, well, I'm getting it out. He goes, I didn't ask you. He goes, sell 1,000.
Yeah.
And it terrorized me. I'm like, oh, this is going to get ugly.
Yeah.
So I just found the biggest locals in the pit. And I said, I'm selling you 300, 100, and let them deal with it.
Yep.
When I went to that, he's like, and it moved the market because it went flushed. He goes, okay, call me back with the average price soon. What he did is he found out it crushed the market. He came back and sold 500 more. He was liquidating. He wasn't, price didn't matter.
Yeah.
And we're starting to get that feeling. That's that feeling. When I see that gold half hour break.
Yeah.
That's
We're seeing it right here.
That's
Gold just made new lows of the day. 47.97, trading below 4,800.
I
Sell
well,
everything.
that goes next. I'm getting very bearish.
Sell everything
I'm
today.
talking crazy stuff. What seems like crazy, but technically
It's how the markets
it's
move.
a that's how markets move.
That is how the markets move. Yeah, but the chat is on to you, Coach Paul. Your phone rang, said it was spam, then you did like a little disappearing act for a second. Everything froze, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of assets sold off. So if you're the market
I
maker.
was busy.
You're the market maker. Just let me know, man. Just let me know.
Uh, uh,
Um, but yeah, pretty big sell there. And last night Dakota and I were talking about gold. We were trading gold. Shout out to Dakota. Got short. I actually got long. One of the things we've been talking about was maybe mapping out a shorter time frame to reduce the risk. It triggered a long for me in gold, and in this account, I'm looking for $150 days. Took an opportunity, couple micros, got in long, and cut the trade. VWAP starts to flatten out. So if I was looking for more, and we go back to the 30-minute chart, if I was looking for more, volume was above the 200 moving average. But if you now look at a 30-minute, that volume never left that 30-minute range to the upside. So if I was looking for more, I might have been the only person doing it. And we get
so,
this aggressive sell-off. Go ahead, Coach.
so I just have to congratulate you. You took a loss.
I
It
took a
was
win.
probably
It's a trade.
oh, you took a win.
Yeah.
That's absolutely outstanding.
I was wrong as hell. I was so wrong about where this market was going.
Wow, nice out.
But when you don't get married to it, you can get out and realize that,
Yeah.
hey, I have the wrong idea for what the market is trying to say here.
Yeah, read the market. Very good.
That's all it is. That is all it is. And again, that 30-minute candle set the range for the rest of the day. We've talked about this as well. Huge volume, biggest volume on the day on the 30-minute. It's going to take a lot of energy to get out of that. You're not going to do it with below average volume. So if you attach a VWAP to that 30-minute candle, I'm not surprised that we stayed in this range. We talked about this during the opening call as well. With this much volume in an overnight session, it's going to take a lot to leave this range, or it's going to take what we're kind of seeing right now. We're seeing gold sell off after the close, similar to what's happening with the earnings, right? In a low liquidity environment, there's a bunch of orders that get pulled. Now I can move the market on lower volume. But this area here, 48.31s up to 49.60. What is that high of that candle? 49.60. Interesting spot. Still under that 200 moving average. This looks gross. Let's go to the daily.
Yeah, that looks even grosser.
Yeah.
First of all, we closed under the 200 again.
Yeah.
What happened to our Fibonacci? I just wanted.
Oh, this
didn't
one?
we have that? Was that no, that one. We rejected again. That high last night was at 50%.
Right there.
And now if there's a liquidity event, I mean, we're starting to see some of the liquidation.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing to take gold right back to that 200 moving average in a hurry. I'm not saying it is, but when that happens, heck, if we look from April of last year, what was the price of? We go to a weekly, it's easier to see.
On this April of last year, 3600s, 35 to 36, right? These are futures contract, but yeah, we're in that 3600 area.
Yeah. That's an explosive, that's a blow off. And we're getting more evidence of that. If we look at the weekly, you can see it even better. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, it's very very topish to me.
Yeah.
And if they think about this, it's the small amount of time.
Yeah.
Last Thursday,
it's all going up. We're going all-time highs. Buy gold, buy gold, buy gold.
It wasn't, right? It was at 50. When did we get to 6,000?
Yeah.
It almost happened in an hour.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
yeah. So now
I saw a lot of
Is that
silver
enough time?
500 projections.
Yeah. So think about this. I'll use it this way: the exit. It's a crowded theater, or as a farmer that I knew used to say, Paul, you can't stuff 10 pounds of manure in a 5-pound bag.
Right.
Bad things happen. So this is traded, which has had a very little time for exit. There's and silver looks even worse. I think silver has a chance to get back down to even $30, but first stop 50.
Yeah.
That could happen
Tomorrow.
at any time. And once again, it's a crowded trade. It's not given. It took all this time, right?
Yep.
What's been going on for what? Let's use the 200 moving average. When did we? Yeah, it was last April.
June. Yeah.
It's taken
June.
all
Yeah.
this time and 4 days to break 50%.
Yep.
There's a lot of deer in the headlights. Like, what should I do now?
Yeah.
Where they
Uh,
could be forced.
so I see some questions in here. And I think as a default, right, may not be the answer you want to hear, but is this a healthy correction or is this a short-term top? Don't know. I can't say. I know one thing. There's a bunch of people that lost money in in a very short period of time here. I could imagine it being hard for people to come back in and buy silver after this. Uh, so we really don't know until it happens. Is it still technically in an uptrend? Technically, it depends where you measure it from. Um, what I do know is that, like Coach Paul just said, I think if let's say you're a new trader here, or this is your first time seeing something like this, what we're seeing here could happen in another market somewhere, right? And when you start to see signs of irrational exuberance, like Billy just said in the chat, or
That's
everyone
Billy
starts
Greenspan.
to talk about it, I'm saying like here's somebody talk about silver that is maybe never traded it before, and I don't think anything's wrong with that. People say that's like, oh, look at these guys, they're just jumping over to silver now because it's the cool thing to move. I actually don't see anything wrong with that. As we say it every time, our job as traders is to identify opportunity and see how we can take advantage of those opportunities. But when everyone is trying to take advantage of that opportunity, beware, beware. And that's what we got here. So did we need to get everybody off the ship so silver can keep doing what it was doing? Maybe. And this is a way you do it. I've seen this, and coming from like trading stocks, Coach Paul, and you find some low float, low cap stock. Everyone's like, oh, this is the next big thing. They're gonna solve cancer, and they make clothing, and it's a marijuana company, and they do this. It's just like, wait, what is this company? You look it up. You look up their website, and their headquarters is like
It's in DOS.
their headquarters is like in a garage somewhere. And you're like, hold on a second, wait, what's happening here? Snap your fingers, the company's down 100%, right? So be careful, or be cognizant of, 5 employees, right? And they all have the same name. Be conscious and cognizant when you see things like this happen, because it could mean that there's we were running on hope. Silver was running on hope. I'm telling you, I've heard people talk about buying silver that I've never heard talk about buying any asset. That's when shit gets scary. But there you go. See what happens here.
Once again, 1983, we had this from was it 82? What in the 80s, silver did basically the same thing. It went from $5 to $50. It was still as shocking as $120 silver.
Yeah.
People loaded up and got destroyed. And the hodlers took, well, 43 years.
To get back up. Yeah.
And that was just recently. That was at $50 was crazy.
Yeah.
That was what in November? We
Yep.
were talking about $50 silver in Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I think it was. Okay. By the way, this isn't new. This you could probably get the classic tulip mania chart, and it would look just like this.
Yeah.
Or something that you're better off getting out early because you can't get out late. The crowded theater, the crowded trade.
Yep.
So it's a classic. Is it now? Remember, this is observation. This
Yeah.
isn't trading advice. Keeping it just observing this. I've seen this play before. It's a liquidation play. And like I said, it took how much time to get there, and just 4 days to give half of it back. All right.
All right. Let's move over. We talked about the metals. Trading you out of the way. As we continue to make new lows here. Tune in to slow markets tonight. It is going to be fast markets part 2. Talk about crude oil, Coach Paul.
Yeah, starting to also feel a good sell-off.
Yeah.
Still in that range. We're finding balance here. It's slowing down. I also think crude could be affected by the other markets.
Yeah.
But the volatility is not there. At any moment, we could be back down to. I can't believe I had to look at the price when I was doing my pivots yesterday. I'm like, because I really don't pay it a focus just on price. I'm like, what? 66? How did we get there? But it's finding. Look, we're going sideways here. It's losing its momentum. I don't see it as a short yet, but we're day traders, so let's look what happened overnight.
Leo, 40% consistency target. No one day can be more than 40% of your profits for the account. Here's last night.
All right. That opening half hour, VWAP didn't leave it until
New York
COMEX
session.
open.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, we were still within yesterday's big candle, which was Iran talks are off. We stayed in there really all day, but look what happened towards the end of the day. We closed under the 200. We closed under that Iran talks are off candle, feeling very heavy here. Under the 200, this is another one to watch on London Open to see if we get continuation selling. Wow, we're making new lows in the Nasdaq as we are speaking.
Yep. We are continuing to sell off here. 24,440. Yeah. These markets are heavy. And crude oil could be interesting to watch. Especially tomorrow with the Iran-US talks. Be on headline watch if you're trading crude oil tomorrow, because it could get things moving around for sure. New lows in the equities as we speak. This is just insane. Nasdaq was down 1.5% when we started at the buzzer. It's down 2.25%. S&P making new lows as well. NQ setting up for a big rebound tomorrow. Maybe, could be, but it looks pretty heavy right now. All right, we got a Bitcoin request. Micro Bitcoin on a daily.
Well, notice when we got under that J trade, failed J trade.
We
We
gapped under it.
closed, I think it was Monday. Yeah,
Well,
that was Monday.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the overnight gap. And this is pure liquidation. Was it Mike Saylor? I don't know. He didn't call me. He didn't text me. Does it matter? Read the markets. And wow, it just got more velocity. So as we go through all these markets, this is another one. This is another liquidation.
Yeah.
The overall market are saying, I need cash. I need to get out of my out of markets. I need to come up with cash. And like Coach Hoop says, watch the bonds, but actually watch the 2-year.
Yeah.
All right, but I think a lot of this got exacerbated by the silver and gold or the metals debacle
Let's
last week.
Let's put up a dollar chart. We are seeing a little bit of strength in the dollar also off of its lows. Interesting stuff here. But yeah, Bitcoin is just, I mean, look at last night. So we've been under this 200 moving average on the 30.
Let's look at the first half hour last night.
Tiny range. Volume.
Now,
Really,
tiny volume.
yeah.
So that's telling me VWAP didn't leave the range. It did. Okay.
Yeah, but look at all that. That's like what the equities did the other day.
Yeah.
No one was trading that.
Now, with that, you could have bought that and moved every, just like anything. Where in that am I finding new information that tells me I'm wrong? Well, first of all, number one is you should have that risk framed out before you got into the trade. But when does the market change? We look at session VWAP.
Yeah.
And when it started curving. What time was that? I think that was that London time?
London Open. I just had an idea. Is the open the first 30-minute candle you see above the average? That's just me brainstorming here. But yeah, that was a London Open. London Open there.
Wow. Okay. Now, London being a financial center. Interesting. Either way, that flow was so negative. I mean, look at that volume at the close. Wow, how many?
Yeah.
That was just as we were speaking.
This is 24,000 contracts in this 30-minute period here. But yeah, we're still selling.
Interesting. It's 24,000. Look at the candle. You couldn't. If I had told you it was 24,000 in that candle.
Yeah, it barely moved.
Yeah. So probably a lot of cross trade there. But directionally with VWAP, I mean, every time we touched that session VWAP after London opened up, what happened? We got new selling.
Yep. Yeah. All right. We have someone was saying you got to look at the spot Bitcoin to really see the volume. I'm gonna take a look. Hold on 1 second. And I see some questions about the payout thing. I'll say it again. If we talk about it, it's gonna be like I'll be like that kid who did the book report in school off of Wikipedia, right? Where you just get up in front of the class and you just read the slides. I didn't fully read the email, guys. I didn't fully read the email. I was taking care of some stuff. So I'm learning as you are, but there is a new path to payout. Uh, there is a new path to payout where if you can get a payout in 3 days, as long as one day is not more than 40% of your profits for that account. So very similar to how you could we had the consistency target in the combines. In your XFA, you can get a payout in up to 3 days, and in as little as 3 days, if one day isn't more than 40% of your profits. Right? But I'll go read the full book report, not the Cliff Notes version, and then I'll come back. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Let's I'm gonna pull up really quick. The trading view chart.
No, I'm not going to comment.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, comment.
Oh, but that's if you want the payout in 3 days.
Right.
I'm just something. I was in a prop firm for a while. It was you need to make so much, and you could get half of it at the end of the month. It was that. You don't come to me in 4 days. Don't come to me. And if you lost it before then, well, in the fund industry, you get paid quarterly.
Yeah.
If you have a shitty month right before the end of the quarter and blow it up, guess what? 90 more days, and you better earn it. So I think
it's an option.
That's the way it's an option. By the way, it's for 3 days. So
yep, and it is an option. Like Brandon just said, it's an option. You can stick with the same standard path, but it is just an option. I want to switch over to this chart real quick.
Okay.
Volume in Bitcoin. We were talking about that might be the highest volume in a while. This is a spot Bitcoin chart. 11,000. Is that right? And it's kind of hard to tell with Bitcoin, right? Because there's a bunch of different exchanges and all that.
Get out of the way.
But no, you're good. This candle right here, 11,000. I think was the number. Yeah, right around 11,000.
Yeah. So it's big volume.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Any other markets, Coach Paul, that you want to talk about?
Kind of looking at that, since Bitcoin started, the future started, there's a firm called DRW, Don Wilson. It's very large in crypto markets. So when I see that kind of volume at 24,000, it could be swap trading. I'll give you swap futures for cash. And there's deals made that aren't directional. By the way, most of the trading is not directional trading. But it also says that it's stress. There's stress in that market.
Yeah.
Like, I got to get out of this. Hey, call, I think, what is it? Got the name of their crypto firm. Call them up. Make a deal where I don't want to trade this into the market. Give them a head start and then give them size. And we'll do a swap. That's what that looks like. That's when stress starts coming into a market.
Yeah.
So we'll see if there's follow through. But I can explain that volume because since futures came in, because of the leverage, it's really affected the cash market. Because you want to move size, you want leverage. Very interesting.
Sure. Let's take a look at a Treasury chart real quick. This is the 30-year, held at 200 moving average. A little bit of a pop here. Anything you want to say on these, Coach Paul, or interesting to watch or not?
Okay. The 30 years.
Not it. Go to the 2.
No, 2 year. A little different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Breaking out of range. That's where, and the volume's picking up. So if there's going to be parked funds. They're going to park it in short-term treasuries. We don't have there was 10-year treasury note or treasury bills. I don't think they trade. I don't 2-year it'd be the place for bigger sign, and because it's very liquid, it's short term, and a good movement. So there's it's starting to happen. I wouldn't look into the 30-year. It's got its own issues. You want a short term, but still, that's sideways. And I haven't looked in them because even a skunk couldn't make a cent in those markets right now if you're a directional trader.
Yeah.
So, but a sign, there is this little spike there. I think, oh, look at now that.
This is a shorter time frame. 5 minute today.
Yeah.
Today was a nice trade. Jack has been talking about this. Jack actually said, I guess whatever and we know Jack watches this stuff all day. He said he's at the point where he's going to ask the risk team to open up the treasuries on his account because he thinks it could get pretty interesting here. Today might be a sign, similar to your crude oil call. I listen to you guys when you say stuff like that.
Well,
It's called experience.
Yeah. Interesting. So it is definitely being parked. If you, first of all, if you can liquidate your asset.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be it'll be fast, slow markets tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I can see from that. So
for sure.
Yeah, I've had it.
Any
What about
other markets, Coach Paul, you want to talk about?
The Swiss franc.
Here it is on the daily.
Yeah, it's not, when I think of Swiss franc, the first thing comes to my mind is gold. But but that was it. I think we had a big J trade on the daily there. We're below that now, still above the 200 moving average. But once again, that has a chance of reversing. That's when I was looking. I saw that volume.
Yeah.
When I see that volume stick out like that, the first thing I think of is J trade.
Yep. We closed below it a couple days ago, so interesting stuff there as well. We covered a bunch. We covered a bunch of markets. I think we might have done it. I think we did it.
I think we did it.
One more day.
Where did we close NASDAQ on? Almost the low tick. S&P's almost on the low tick.
We were just talking about that October 10th low, right?
Yeah.
I think we got it. Low of the day.
So who was our friend in the audience say setting up for a buy?
Maybe.
24,407
quarter, low of the day in the NASDAQ, closing at 24,425 and a quarter. The low of the October 10th candle, 24,405.75. Why is everything red? More sellers than buyers. Hopefully,
hey, that's my line. I love it.
Hopefully, if you've been joining us for At the Buzzer every day this week or however long you have, you're not surprised that this is happening right now. Again, anything we say is for educational information purposes only. I got a question on social media asking what qualifies me to be a coach. And I think what makes a great coach is somebody who not only experiences success, but also failure in whatever endeavor they're coaching at, because you know what works and what doesn't work for you. And you can attempt to help expedite that process for anybody else who's looking to do the same thing. So what we do here, I'm never going to say I'm the best trader. You're never going to hear me talk about myself. The most I've talked about myself recently is what I've done in this XFA, and I really didn't even want to talk about that. But hopefully, any of the information that we've provided you over the past 2 years and what we'll continue to provide to you will help you with your trading journey. That's all I got, Coach Paul. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
You're a great coach.
Appreciate you.
And that signature phrase, and I really mean it, is plan your trade, trade your plan. And we will see you tomorrow.
Awesome stuff. See you tomorrow. Speaking of coaches and people who are out here with the interest of helping you become a better trader, we got coaches doing classes in Discord after this. Coach Hoop at 6 p.m., Coach Ray at 7 p.m., and Coach Vince at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Coach Dakota tonight with Slow Markets, 8:30 Eastern. Aaron with the London trade tomorrow morning, 2:30 Eastern Time, and no Deanna Euro trade session tomorrow because tomorrow is Friday. Trade well, everybody. Manage your risk. We will see you back for the opening call tomorrow. More day. Let's go.
Bye.